Hey, what's up, guys? I just wanted to talk a little bit about the new Passenger movie that's coming out in about a month now, which is crazy because the trailer actually just came out today. And I think the marketing in the movie is very, very interesting. Now, what I mean by that is that the very fact that we didn't get an official trailer until today is very interesting for a horror movie. Usually, for like movies, you get it like maybe a few months in advance. Like usually 2 or 3 months in advance, you can get a pretty like chunky trailer or at least a teaser trailer, right? I mean, we got the Backrooms trailer before this trailer, and the Backrooms, I mean, is coming out around the same time as this movie. In fact, this movie actually got pushed back or actually brought forward because they didn't want to compete with the Backrooms movie. But that's something else entirely. What I really wanted to talk about is how exactly like what is this trailer, like just to tell you about my hype over this movie, because I think it's really something special. Like, funnily enough, the first time I actually saw this trailer, I think it was actually leaked on Twitter, which is or X, whatever, I don't care. But it's crazy because I actually saw that trailer while I was at work, and I was actually at the bathroom, and I was like, "Oh shoot, what's this trailer?" And it actually freaked me out. And I'm sure if you're keeping up with what this movie is about, you know exactly what trailer I'm talking about. And this trailer is being actually screened throughout multiple theaters before horror movies. So like recently, like two movies that have come out with the actual trailer in it is actually Undertone and Primate, which means it's only a theatrical release only that you can find playing before both of these movies, which is crazy to me. Because if you looked online, you literally could not find this trailer, which adds to sort of the mystique of it. I don't remember the last time it was that hard to find the trailer for a movie, but I thought that was really interesting. It really caught my eye, caught my attention, and so um, I'm finally I'm so glad they actually released the trailer now. Now, to just give you a quick rundown of the trailer from off the top of my head, I think basically what happens is the beginning section is what we all know, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's basically this guy, these two dudes, they're driving on a road trip, and one of the dudes like, "Bro, stop! I need to take a piss." And so he goes out and takes a piss. And well, something I find interesting about this is that you would expect to be in the perspective of the guy waiting in the car, right? Because in most scary movie situations, you're like, "Dude, like, why are you taking a piss in the middle of the woods? Like, that's so stupid." And then you're gonna just expect him to die instantly. But he doesn't. We actually follow the perspective of the guy that's taking a piss. And then we come back and then boom, like the doors are open, the car's honking, and you're like, "Uh-oh," And then you're like, "Oh shoot." And then he hops in the car and he's like, "Oh bro, like where are you?" And so after that, this guy comes falling in, a boom, jump scare. He comes crashing into the windshield. He's like, "Help me." And then he gets dragged away, and he's like, "Oh shit, bro!" Like the guy who just took a piss, like literally drives off. He's like, "Fuck you," which is really funny. And then he drives off, and I think this is the jump scare that's very creative in my opinion, and I think freaked a lot of people out. And it's basically like this guy, he's like driving super fast through the woods, and then whoosh, he sees like a guy standing in the road, and you're like, "Oh, that's weird." And then he's like, "What the heck?" Same position as we are. And then he drives a little bit more, and then boom, that pedestrian's back, and he's like, "What the heck?" And then he drives past, and then that pedestrian comes back again, and then again and again. It's almost like he's driving in a loop until like that same shot that we have where he's passing past the car, he freaking teleports in the car and does like a little Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare, like, "Arr!" Like Foxy and shit. So I thought that was really interesting. And then from there, it actually cuts into the actual meaty part of the trailer, like the actual story part of the trailer, which I find really interesting. And this is where we sort of get into, I feel like they talk a little bit too much about the actual movie itself. But I'll get into that later, of course, and my overall thoughts on the trailer itself and the movie. But basically, this couple goes around and then they get like 3 scratch marks on their van or whatever, and they're like, "Huh, that's weird," you know. And then this like local lady was like, "Oh, you got the 3 scratches? Like you're screwed, bro." And then they're like, "Yeah, whatever." And then like scary stuff, hijinks ensue where the same evil person pops in and is like, I'm scaring you and stuff like that. But I think we get some really interesting shots that really like hint as to what the movie's actually about. Like the little amulet that she has hanging on the rearview mirror is like warding off the ghost, and I'm thinking it could be like some like it gives me like some sort of folklorish vibe where that amulet is like a like what would you call it, like what holy water would be to a ghost, like I can't touch it. But it does show like that amulet's probably going to be something important towards the overall trailer. And then, of course, they go through all this madness, and there's some great shots in there. One where dude's like levitating and stuff like that, and then another one where it's like the final jump scare of the trailer where it's like her hazard lights are blinking on and off, and then she gets taken away. Like every time it blinks, it's like the ghost is there, and then the ghost is there, and then it's even closer, and until it finally drags her up in a way, which I think is a really cool and creative way to do it. Now, what exactly do I think of the trailer? Like, I thought that, to be completely honest, this trailer, in comparison to the previous trailer that we had that was only showing in theaters, I gotta be real. Like, the movie lost a lot of its sauce. Like, the big thing was, like, it's this cryptic, sort of interesting trailer where it shows you just enough to show you, like, the threat of the movie itself and, like, the antagonist, the little demon that comes after you, but doesn't spoil the story. It just shows you what danger is in the story. And I really like that approach. But now it's, like, sort of like a basic, I don't know, like a basic what you would find in every other horror movie, right? And so I feel like it lost a little bit of a sauce, and I feel like the editing in the trailer itself is pretty basic. I mean, it's like the cuts are pretty basic, and then like this, like even though I liked the last jump scare scene with the blinker lights on the van, like the last grab was very jarring. It wasn't like, it was like where it cuts in and out like a cheesy horror movie trailer, which I didn't really like, I felt like they could have done something a little better. But yeah, it sort of lost that like mystery fear that you would get watching these horror sort of trailers, especially with how little information you can find on it. I mean, yeah, now it just feels like a normal freaking horror movie trailer, which is fine. It's just it lost its sauce. Now, before I wrap this up, I do want to mention something a little bit interesting. So I was going through the social medias of this movie, and I actually found that they have like a website, like most do. And even though a lot of like horror films have been pretty creative in how they do their website, like notably Weapons did that like whole security footage thing. What was the other one? The one made by that YouTuber. I forgot the name of it already, but they had like a missing persons a missing person sort of report in the website. It absolutely eludes me, but it's by that Stuckman guy. Forgot the name of it, but that was also a really good website too. And this is the same too. They had a countdown for, I think, when like your area hits nighttime, which I thought was really cool. And basically it just showed some like cryptic crap, and it was like, ooh, like don't drive at night, and I thought that was really cool. I'm not sure if there's anything of substance there, like if you want to dive into the nitty gritty, but I really thought it was great. I thought it was another great use of a film website that's different from, like buy tickets for this movie now, But yeah. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, like my little talks, and like and subscribe if you want to. I don't really care. Go for it.